Welcome to Too Many Cats with Ian and Catherine. Catherine is not here. Her mum is a bit better. Catherine was never going to be here for this show. She is off to see Othello, and I believe Toby Jones. I believe they've gone traditional. My hair, if you're listening to the podcast, my hair looks great, although that bit's getting bigger. I believe Toby Jones is blacking up. Controversial, but it gets people talking about it. This is a free weekly podcast that we put out just for shits and giggles. We got some new Patreons. Stephen has joined up on a 7-day free trial. Steve Crowley, are you here? I was on... Steve's here for a 7-day free trial. I got to respect that. I have got to respect that. No Limits has signed up for a 7-day free trial. I got to respect it. I respect it. And that's it. If you want to sign up, just to check, we're not distorting, are we? But could be a weird show tonight. Why? That's why. So if you want to sign up, patreon.com/Ian and Catherine. There's loads of shows coming up as well. Let me give you two. I'm doing Imposter Syndrome at the Rondo Theatre, Saturday, February the 9th with David Turners in Bath. Me and Catherine are doing a show at the Bear Club in Luton on February the 22nd, I believe. Compendium of games. You can win anything between 1 penny and £1 million. And I posted that on TikTok and someone went, yeah, well, I bet the prize will be closer to a penny than £1 million. You don't fucking say. Really? Oh my God, you saw through my oh no, you worked it out. Oh my God, you worked it out.
Doorbells.
So we're going to do a little 30-minute free show, and then we're going to go into the Patreons who are going to get the good stuff. We are going to watch, the good news is we're going to watch an El Dorado tonight. The bad news is we're going to watch an El Dorado tonight. So, plenty to talk about. I'm having great fun as the grumpy, reluctant, I prefer more than grumpy, phone-in host, Ian Lee, got the same name as me, on the phone-in show. Can we do the audible trick on that photo? Oh, maybe. And I'm doing it on TikTok, exclusively on TikTok. And I'm glad it's ended up, it was TikTok and Twitch. But then Restream wouldn't let me stream to TikTok. So it's, I have been forced to do it just on TikTok. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And Steve Allen was in the chat on one of them, which is wild because I know why he lost his job. Message me privately and I'll tell you. Oh, yeah. Ian Collins last night, I think it was, asked to be a guest on the show, popped up on there. Steve Penk was there. Big names. Big names. And it's going really well. I have set up last night at midnight. Well, I'm not so worried about that. I've got an incense burning. That's what the smoke is. I'm not so bothered about the modding. If they mention Belfield, they're out. That's it. The rest of it, I don't really care. I've set up, last night I was up for ages, and I've set up its own podcast feed. So it's already trickling through, I believe it's on Apple, it's on Spotify, the phone-in show. Catherine said, you can't call it that. Call it Be Good or Be Gone, which is a feature I came up with. And I said, no, I want to call it the phone-in show because, again, it's like not really bothered. It's very generic. I don't really want to be here. And she said, but there'll be loads of shows called the phone-in show. Looked on Spotify. None. There are no shows called the phone-in show. So keep an eye out for that. It's just a plain logo with the phone-in show. So sign up, that and spread the word because I think do you know what? I might be bored by Thursday and I might stop. But the plan is Sundays and Mondays at 8, Thursdays at 9. Sundays, Mondays, 8, Thursdays at 9. If you're a £13 patron and above or a mod, Sunday at 6 is our Zoom meeting. I feel that's all the business. So why was there no show last week? Well, actually, I'll tell you why there was no show last week. It's because we're going to be having a listening along party to the Ollie Moore's album Bonkers. Will it be? How long did Radio Anywhere go for? It popped up on my memory. So it was 4 years ago. That was about 3 months, wasn't it? That was a long time for me. It's been a week. Let's just quickly get the shit out of the way. So Catherine's mum is a bit better. She's still not very well, but she's sent her love to all of you. I'm not feeling great. I'm having a terrible bipolar. And I've spent most of today in bed sobbing. And then I made myself get up. I said, fucking get out of bed. Go to Aylesbury, go to the sex shop Computer Exchange and take in Borderlands 4 and get Battlefield 6. And they didn't have Battlefield 6. I was in the queue for fucking ages, right? So Computer Exchange in Aylesbury, there were 4 people behind the counter, one customer in front of me who was buying headphones and was taking fucking ages, right? Now, being served by one person, that leaves 3 other people. One of them was in the back testing consoles. Okay, that leaves 2 people. Now, these 2 people, one of whom I think is the manager, the 2 of them were sorting stuff out. And I'm there, and I timed it. I was there for 5 minutes, just me and this guy. And the manager didn't even look at me, right? And he's sorting through all this stuff. And, Catherine's just sent me a picture, of her at the theatre. I'm just going to send her a picture of me working. It didn't even. It got to. And he was moving stuff around, and he went, right, all right. Can we just do this quickly, guys? Quickly. I'm thinking, I'm a fucking customer. Do this quickly. Anyway, so yeah. And then I came back and it was like, I could go back to bed for a couple of hours before the show. No, I'm going to make a chili. Got to just do stuff. Nothing changes if nothing changes. But I feel awful. And it's very, very peculiar. Got a good weekend. Can't see the kids play rugby, which always gets me down. But looking at a wedding venue tomorrow. So I'm looking at a wedding venue. We are looking at a wedding venue tomorrow. Then we're looking at wedding venue on Sunday. I think the one tomorrow might be the one, and it's affordable. But so that's great. But honestly, fuck me, my mood is low. Anyway, so last week, why no show? Because can you stop pinging me? Got to put it on Do Not Disturb. Because I was on. Well, I've told some people it was an acting course. I told some people it was a comedy course. I didn't tell many people it was a clowning course. Not that one, but it was. Pat, honestly, my love, I try not to get snappy with you because I miss your brother terribly. 3 years, I think. Anyway. So it's a clowning course. And so what is clowning? Clowning is all about instinct. It's all about... So Sacha Baron Cohen, who played Ali G, who I, of course, worked with, was studied under this French guy, this French clown, whose name I don't know. Zach Zucker, who is a comedian who I think is fab. When I interviewed him, said he'd also trained under this French dude, right? Very famous French dude. And Emma Thompson has trained with him and loads of other people. And he doesn't teach anymore, but there are a few people in this country who have trained with him who teach, right? And one of them was the course I signed up for. 600 quid plus 150 on parking, 750 quid. Here we go. And I thought, when I did performing arts at university, there was a clowning module. And I didn't do it because we had a weekend of it and I didn't like it. And I thought it was bollocks. And I thought the teacher that taught it was a twat and I didn't like it. And I thought, well, as I got older, I thought, well, maybe that was just me being, an annoying, petulant 19-year-old. I want what Sasha has got. I want what Zach. I want this fearlessness. That's what I wanted. Fearlessness. And after I did the show, the Imposter Syndrome, the Stables in Milton Keynes, I thought, right, but I had fear. And I want fearlessness. There was stuff I didn't do because I was afraid. So I signed up for this course, right? And the guy who took the booking had been a fan of mine on Rise. We'd met at Rise, apparently. And the guy who was taking the course, no names, no pack drill. I thought I'd heard of him. It's quite a big name in the world of clowning, right? And it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of last week. So 5 days. 5 days. So I've told you that, and I booked it. It was in East London, Dalston. It was in this tiny little theatre, right? And the guy that's setting up, I'm thinking, I don't recognise faces. I'm looking at him thinking, I fucking know you from somewhere. I know you from somewhere. And then an hour into it, I went, oh shit, that's James Alexandru. Who's James Alexandru? He's Martin Fowler. I don't think he was the OG Martin Fowler, but he was a Martin Fowler. Anyway, so we got there bright and early. It was snowing. And my thumbs. So I'm just admiring my hair. It looks magnificent. It was snowing, and I got there cold, and there was 17 people, and it became aware. I became aware very quickly. I was the old man there. I was the oldest person. There was a guy who was probably in his 40s, but at 52, I was significantly older than the 20-somethings and a couple of 30-somethings. Right? So I'm the old guy. All right. Don't think anyone recognised me. Great, I'm in. And the first couple of hours, I loved it. I'm doing this thinking Catherine would hate this. It's fucking name games. It's walk around, make eye contact with the first person. You've been friends for years and you've got a really cool handshake that only you two know. Do it. I loved it. The next 6 hours was improvising with a chair. That's right, 6 hours of improvising with a chair. And they said and I knew this was the case, right? From my experience in university and from reading the website and talking to other people, right? You've got to learn. You've got to be okay with being told that wasn't good. That was bad. You got to be, and it's humbling, right? And I was like, I'm fine with that. And did anyone flip the chair and pretend to be impaled on the leg up their bum? Yes. And can't get away from chair work, Jules. There's a counselling joke. Thank you. And so you would go up in like threes and you'd be behind in the wings, and then one of you would come out and do a thing, and then you'd say your name and how you thought that went, then walk off, right? And it's impulse. And the whole thing is about learning to be an idiot. And being okay with that, right? Learning to be an idiot, to be a fool, and to be okay with that. So I went up quite early, right? And you're there for about 20 minutes, the three of you. And I was fucking dying on my ass. Honestly, there's these younger people sat there and I'm dying on my ass, right? Some people were getting some laughs. Some people were getting no laughs. But I was dying on my ass, right? And it would keep saying, you're not looking at the audience, Ian. You're talking too much. Stop talking. You're talking too much. Make eye contact with the audience. Okay, it's fine. This is great. This is humbling. So I did that. A little bit later, went up again. And it was even worse somehow. And it was worse because there were other people that weren't getting any laughs, but they were getting a bit of feedback from him, right? And I was getting fucking nothing off him. And it got to the point where he said, Ian, what did he say? Ian, you're just not being genuine. You're not being genuine. I want you to be genuine. And I said, okay, thanks for that. He went, see, you're doing it now. I went, no, I was being genuine then. I was genuinely, humbly thanking him for his feedback. So you're doing it now. You're not being genuine. I said, oh no, this is becoming a thing, isn't it? I said, please don't let this become a thing. He said, all right. Carried on. No, I'm fucking dying inside, right? 6 hours of them, people getting up. And some people were getting no laughs. Some a little bit. A couple were getting big laughs, right? And I didn't get what they were laughing at. And I'm being thrown back to college and thinking, oh my God, I remember this now. The things that everyone else was laughing at, I was not laughing at. And about 3 o'clock, it was from 10:30 till 5:30, about 3 o'clock, I thought, oh, I'm the shit one. I'm the one that is in every group, whatever it is, that is shit. And everyone is looking at thinking, oh my God, they're shit and old. That's me. I'm the shit one. I thought there was another guy with grey hair. I thought he was the shit one. I thought he was the shit one, right? I'm thinking, thank God I'm not the shit one. He is. And then he started getting laughs. And I'm thinking, I'm the shit one. And the last half an hour, he said, right, 3 more people. And I got up, and I'm so glad I got up for that last half an hour. Because I fucking died again and again and again. Everyone's getting laughs. People are looking at me. People are afraid to look at me. There's a nice guy in the front who's going, nothing. And it got to the point, everyone's coming out and doing that. Big laughs. My name's Steve. I thought that went well. You had to go off. And I come out and do something. I did a dance with the chair and pretended it was bride and groom, and I sang the Body Form song. Nothing. When you've danced with a chair and sang the Body Form song and had nothing, and then you have to put the fucking chair down and go, my name's Ian. In my head, that went really well. Yeah, but it was an American. I won't do it. Yeah, but how do you think it went for the audience? I said, I don't care. There's your problem. There's your problem. You don't care. There's your problem. There's your problem. You don't care. You don't care about the audience, and there's your problem. My ovaries are shriveling up. The Body Form bit was funny, right? 6 fucking hours of improv with a chair. So then, the next time it's like, so we're up there, 1, 2, and it's quick. It's like 45, 60 seconds, boom, boom, boom. So you're back on, right? And so the next time I came out and I stood behind the chair, right? And I thought, fuck this. This is like the Brighton gig all over again. If you know your history, you'll know the Brighton gig. I did. And I came out and I put my hands on the chair and I said, right, guys, I looked at everyone. I said, this isn't working, is it? And I'm aware that there is now a vibe in the room that is actually quite dark and uncomfortable. And I think it's important we acknowledge the uncomfortable. You're talking too much. And I said, and this is uncomfortable. Okay, off. We finished at 5:30. No one would look at me. No one would look at me. And I got in the car. It was an hour and 3/4 drive home, and it was Wednesday. And I'm thinking, right, I've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I've spent 750 quid on this, including parking. What I'll do is I'll do Thursday and Friday, and on Friday I'll decide if I do Saturday and Sunday. And I got home, and I hated myself. I hated myself. But I thought this is part of it, right? Is learning to accept the failure, that it's okay to be a failure. And I'm tired and it'll be fine tomorrow. And then I thought, but they're teaching me to be an idiot. But I am an idiot. You know, when Catherine is here, right? I don't want to burst the bubble. And I'll mispronounce a word. I can't think of any examples. Arkansas, right? It's Arkansas. No, it's Arkansas. I'm being an idiot, right? Whenever I'm with her, we kind of slip into this thing and I'm being an idiot, right? When I was on stage with Dave at the stables, and there's a lovely visual gag that I will, there's a for the second half, a big black and white picture of me comes up. And there's a caption that says, Ian Lee, a life remembered, 1973 to 2025. And I have my back to it. And people are laughing. I'm going, oh my God, you're laughing and I haven't said anything yet. And I turn around and go, what the fuck is that? I'm being an idiot. So I don't need to do that. So the Wednesday night, after night one of my £750 clowning course, I wrote a list. The bad bits and the good bits. I will read you them. The bad bits. I didn't enjoy it. I'm the old guy. Humiliated. Ghosts in travel. Oh, that's because I had to drive around a lot of areas where I used to take a lot of drugs and you know, so don't need it. Unpleasant. Depressing. A little dull. I'm not Zach Zucker. Was I being picked on? I don't find clowning funny. I didn't think the bits they were laughing at were funny. The day was shit. And here's the good things I wrote down. It was challenging. Nice people. I enjoyed the first half. I'm an idiot already. I phoned up my best friend Conan and I said, who's into his clowning shit. And I said, Conan, I don't think I want to go back. Can I talk it through with you? Said, yeah. And at the end of the phone call, I phoned Catherine up and said, I'm not going back. It was shit. When I say shit, by the way, that people were getting stuff out of it, right? May God bless them. I also then watched a TV sketch thing that the guy taking the course, he's an American and he's in his 40s, maybe he's similar age to me, I don't know. I watched, his TV stuff was not very good. My TV stuff is funny. I probably should have checked that out first of all. So I sent an email to the organizer and I said, just to let you know, I won't be coming back. It's very much a it's me, not you scenario. I didn't enjoy it and it's just not for me. What I'm proud of is I didn't say, because my head was thinking, tell him your mum's ill. Tell him you've got I can't say COVID because then everyone will have to tell him you've been throwing up. That was where I was going. And I didn't. I said, it's not for me. I was kind of hoping he'd say, we'll give you half your money back. That didn't happen. No one reached out to me after I didn't go back. No one. The guy that who had organised it was a nice lad. He's a comedian. And like I say, he'd been a fan of Rise. He'd come to see Rise being filmed once. He wrote back saying, I'm really sorry to hear that you didn't like it. If you change your mind at any point over the next few days, you'd be very welcome. So that was nice. Teacher never did. I don't think he liked me. Also, if you're teaching something, you fucking show me. Show me. Show me. You do 20 minutes improv alternating with two other people about a fucking chair. Show me. Show me. Show me. No, I don't believe it's not a money-making machine because you know what? 600 quid for a 5-day course, that's not a lot of money at all, really, for 5 full days. That's not a lot of money. In the great, I know 17 people, but a couple of them had organised it, so they weren't paying. So it's not a money-making scheme, and I do think that certainly the guy that organised it genuinely believed in it. That's why he put these things on, and I think the teacher genuinely believed in it. I just. First of all, show me. Secondly, come on, man. Everyone was getting okay. Okay, Steve, that wasn't great. Try it this way. Trish, it's not called Trish. Trish, that was not good. Next time I'd like to see you do this. Instead, what I got was, so you'd be giving the feedback. Right, that wasn't great. Next time, can you do this? That was terrible. However, what you did 5 minutes ago was great. And he'd look at me and go, okay, who's next? It was fucking horrible. I hated it. And the next few days, I would just shiver and go, I fucking hated it. I hated it so much. So much. And that is in part why I'm doing the phone-in show. The phone-in show comes from two things. I've been wanting to do some like streaming, some more regular streaming. And it was Dave who said, you should do a phone-in show. This may have been before it, I think I did one before it, actually. Where you don't talk unless someone's called in. So you sit in silence. I think I did one. In fact, I had done one, and I was so disheartened. And also I'm backstage going, this is fucking awful. We can hear every word. And the guy said, so what are you going to do tonight? I said, I'm going to go home. I'm probably going to do a stream a phone-in show because I'm good at that. But the original premise of the phone-in show was you sit there in silence until people call in. That's when you only speak. But it very quickly didn't become that. But it gave me the confidence at the cost of 750 fucking pounds to know that there is stuff I am really, really, really good at. Stuff that I am the best at. Stuff that I am the best at. And I can play an idiot. And I haven't got any embarrassment in looking like a twat. You know, last night I'm on a stream of people saying, who are you? And I'm holding up awards, including the Baha Men and my Mastermind Award, going, I saved a guy's life. What a prick. What a prick. What a prick. That's fearlessness. So it was one of the worst experiences of my life. And Dave says, you tried it. Got to give these things a go to find out they're not for you. Exactly. I'm glad I did it, because if I hadn't have done it, I wish I'd done a 2-day course that was cheaper. But if I hadn't have done it, I would still be thinking, at one point I was looking at doing a 6-week course in Paris. So I'm glad I did it, right? And everyone was nice. None of them knew who I was, apart from if anyone's listening, everyone was very, very nice and very friendly to me. Towards the end of the day, a lot of them couldn't look at me because I had the stench of death. You know, no one wants to look at the guy that's dying. The teacher, a nice guy, right? I didn't like his TV work. Maybe I should have checked that before, but you read up on him and he's, apparently an incredible performer, but a performer in a genre that actually I don't like. And I thought the way he spoke to me was disrespectful, right? I knew we were going to get criticized and told, that's not good. But I was pissed off that everyone else was getting suggestions, and I was just like getting, okay, who's next? So that's that experience. Debbie says, I didn't know about those phone-in shows. Go and look for the phone-in show on your podcast app. They're also on YouTube. I started putting them up at midnight last night. They will filter through gradually. They're on Spotify and Apple. So that is that. Clowning is not for me. I would love to spend some time talking and listening to that fucking awful Ollie Moores record. When I was a little bit taller, I wish I was a baller. But if you want to hear me going through the new Ollie Moores record, track by track, you've got to sign up to the Patreon, because that's what we're going to do right now as we end this podcast for another, however long it goes on for. We're going to be listening to Ollie Moores. I love Scar, Sean. I love it, especially when it's in the hands of a master. So go to patreon.com/Ian and Catherine and sign up. And if you want to know all of my tour dates, ianlee.com.